Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. I'm glad you dropped in today because we're going to start another job on the workbench. Hard to believe, but there's still more work to do on this beautiful bench. Let's get at it. Well, there, look at that, the bench. Get the top taken off it because I'm getting ready to put the top on here now. So I had to clear it all off, and it wasn't an easy job, but I got her done. As you can see here, I put a lot of stuff in the drawers already, starting to. So that's a positive sign, eh? But we're going to turn our attention today to putting the top on the bench. So I've got all the top pieces piled up over there against the wall. So we're going to start sorting through those and figuring out which ones I'm going to keep, which ones I'm going to throw out. Ha! No, that'll never happen. And then which ones I need to cut to get them to fit on here. So here's the bench with the first layer on it. My bench top is made up of two layers. This layer is an MDF, a medium density fiberboard. It's 3/4 inch thick. And then the top layer is going to be a high density fiberboard, which we used to call Ranger board, and that's 3/4 inch thick too. But those two layers make a really good, solid, hard bench top. And if you notice here, I don't have a piece of 2x4 across here to support this joint. And I don't know that I even need it because the Ranger board I'm going to put on top of it is going to span that joint. It shouldn't be any flex. So that's the beauty, I guess, of having a bench like that. My goals are, first of all, I want to have about a 2.5 inch overhang here and at the front. But down at that end, I only need about 1 inch overhang. So when I measured that down there, it was about 5.5 inches. So I've got some wiggle room here. I can make some cuts. And one of the cuts I'd like to make is this recess that I have set in here. One time, a long time ago, I had a radial arm saw and I had it recessed into the bench so that it would be flush. I didn't like that, didn't work very good, so I got rid of the radial arm saw. Then I put my miter station here for a while, and well, anyways, make a long story short, I don't need these recesses anymore. I don't like them, so I think I'm going to cut them out. So I'm going to spend some time getting this set up, trying to figure out the best way to lay it out, make some cuts here and there, and see how good I can make it. To help me locate this end piece on the bench, I just put a 2-inch spacer on there. So now I can just slide it on the bench, slide it up to that spacer, and I don't have to fuss with it. This piece here we're going to set up now and cut the end off it, that little recess. So we're all set up now, ready to go. Let's see how we make out with this one. I'm going to put one more clamp on this piece because even with those, with that 2-inch spacer, when I bump up against it, this one moves, right? I don't want it to move. So that seam doesn't look too bad there. I think it'll be all right. Okay, so I cut this second piece, that recess off this second piece too. So put that joint together. That doesn't look too bad. Could be a little tighter, but not too bad. But it's tight against the wall here, but it's protruding through past the front, and there's a gap right here. This first piece that I cut, that fits kind of halfway tight against that wall, so I'm not going to do anything with that one. But this one here, I think what I'm going to do is just scribe it. So I'm taking my marker and I'm just putting it against the wall, and then just drag it along the wall, and then it just disappears there. Alright, that's what I was afraid of doing. See that? I got off the track inside. Kind of made a mess of that. However, that's not a mortal sin because this is going to go against the wall and I got another layer that's going to cover it. Aha! So the joint here, it's not real tight. Could have been tighter. But this is really nice here. Nice and can't even feel the joint. Same as this one down here. That one's good too. So now let's see what happens when we pull in this last piece. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not so good. So this overhangs there by about a 1/2 inch. guess it's a 1/2 inch gap back there too. So because my pencil is too narrow to do this gap, I have a compass here with a pencil on it. So what I do is I just set the compass so that it'll be just about a 1/2 inch, something like that, and then I can draw that along the edge. Alright, so there's my mark, so I think I can definitely cut this one with the saw, so let's set up and do that. Not great. So this joint here, I like it, but I'm still sticking out here about, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch maybe. So now I think I can mark it with my pencil. So there, now we'll draw that back out, set that up and cut it again, and it should fit this time. You know what? I like that. That's not bad. Alright, so I like the way that fits up there, so now I have to cut it so that there's a 1 inch overhang off the bench here. So measure that, and that measures 2 7/8. So 2 7/8 less an inch is 1 7/8. 1 7/8. 2 5/8 down there. So 2 5/8 less an inch is 1 5/8. So that's nice 1 inch overhang here. So I've taken some time and I've laid out here where I would like to put some screws. I'm using 1 3/4 inch screws, and I'd like to countersink them a little bit. So I need to countersink them so that they're flush, because I put the second layer on, I don't want it to be rocking and bouncing around. So I'll continue the rest of the bench like that, then I'll get set up to do the second layer. So now we can start laying out the top layer, the finish layer, and see how we can make it with that. So I've got the Ranger board on top here, and it's not fitting real good. Also, these ones here have kind of a nice finish on it. This one is kind of roughed up. So I think what I'll do is run the belt sander over this just to smooth it out. And then once I get all the pieces in place, I'm going to put a couple of coats of Varathane on them, a clear coat, just to toughen them up a little, because yeah, this one's showing its age, eh? So I've got the belt sander with a pretty coarse grit paper on it, but I just want to take this, get the dirt and roughness off it, and then when we put the Varathane on, I hope it'll make it look good. So I get this piece sanded down. Most of the scratches and marks are smoother anyways, if nothing else. And then I clamped it down in place, and I got it lined up pretty good here. Now along the back here, it's pretty tight against the wall here, but there's a gap right there. I think I'm going to have to put a splash board up there or something. So I'm going to start to screw this down. So I've got 1 1/4 inch screws here, and I'm using the existing holes whenever I can. Alright, so there's the first piece in place. I get the second piece kind of set in place. It's I don't know that I can get it much better. There's a little bit of a gap right here. I don't know whether I can fix that. So we're going to set her up like this. Of the bench done, eh? So this is the next to last piece that I'm putting in now, and the wall right here, I don't know what happened to it, but from the left hand side of this outlet it kind of swings back in. So I have to cut almost 1/4 inch off at this end and taper away to nothing up here. So I'm going to try and cut it with the Makita. Right now I'm just going to try to tidy that up because I made a little bump right here. I'll just run the belt sander over it. Okay, that's kind of what I was afraid of. I'm still about 1/8 of an inch proud here, so we're going to have to cut it again. Well, guess what? I just cut this little thin strip off the top again, but I forgot to turn the camera on. So there it is. You have to believe me that I cut it. Now this is going to fit like a glove, right? Well, it doesn't fit like a glove, but it fits pretty good. All right, so I have a piece of this piece here. So I'm going to cut that last piece from here, and we'll place that, and then the bench will be finished. So this is the last piece that's going to go in the end there, and it's of course not square, so I had to do some fancy cutting. But anyway, I've got it cut to the length. Now I'm just going to rip this down here, hopefully to be the right width. Let's see how we make out. I hope it fits, because this is the last piece of Ranger board I have. All right, I think this is the way it goes. Well, you know what? Pretty pleased with that. Since the other end's got a curve on it, I think I'll put a curve on this one too. So that's kind of rough right now, but I'm going to put the belt sander on that, and before you look away, it'll be as pretty as a picture. So that looks a little better now. So I'm going to continue down this edge with the belt sander, just neaten it up a little. So there's the top put on my bench. All the pieces are fitted now and secured, and it looks not too bad. I was sanding the edge here to make it smooth, and the belt broke on my belt sander, and it was the only belt I had, so I didn't quite finish that. Plus I'd like to scuff down the top of it here a little bit so I can put some Varathane or maybe a solid color on there. We're not sure yet how we're going to go with that one. But anyway, I think that's the end of the reno for the workbench. So I'm glad I did this job. You know, I put my computer in there in the corner. Didn't mind giving up that 3 feet now that I have the computer station there. And then all these drawers in the bench are just going to be amazing once I get those all organized. So thanks a lot for watching. I sure do appreciate all your support. I know this series has been dragging on. Seems like every week I've got a video about redoing the shop, but it took me a long time. So thanks a lot for that. And I hope you're all having a great week wherever you are. Don't forget, thumbs up me. Leave me some comments too. Tell me what you think about my new bench and about the shop. And we'll talk to you.